Coming out here to do a demo on the scouting app, and just stepping out here into the plot up here at the warehouse to use this plot as kind of an example. And so we're going to just step here into a field of corn. We're coming out here to look at some corn and use the Scout app on FARMserver and go through how you can do that and scout your fields for diseases and different things like that. So now I'm going to exit this app, jump into FARMserver, exit the app and the camera app and jump into FARMserver. Select our fields and see if it'll jump in here. It does. We see the little blue dot there on the right hand side of the screen, tells us that we're in the field. Hit field focus once again, and at the bottom of the screen you see the plus sign. We tap it, it pops up our menu, and on the top is the timeline. Before we jump into the Scout node, we'll hit the timeline. Here you can see what rain has fallen, you can see applications that were applied, and you can see the thing that's probably interests us most is the planting date at the bottom. Shows planting corn April 7. If you select that, it'll tell us by default, it tells you the populations of the corn that we planted. You can hit the little layer feature here at the top. If you focus on the top right hand part of the screen, you see the layer button. We select it. Now we can choose other options that we want to look at in a map view, such as product. And then we can scroll in, or I should say zoom in, and we can see the different products that were planted in this plot. And it says that we're standing right here basically on the edge of 6112. This was a little interesting here because we have, the planter has two controllers, and we were split up into 4 rows on a 16 row, and so some of these numbers are the same, if you know what I mean. But this tells you if you had 2 different products planted, you could see the side-by-side view and be able to examine that. Now we can hit the plus sign now at the bottom, pulls up our menu. On the left hand side you see Scout note. We tap it, it's dropping us a pin right here where we're going to put a Scout note for future reference. We can choose several options here now. At the bottom it says place Scout note, bottom of the screen. We can choose a line to draw a line that we're wanting to split maybe 2 products in half, left and right. Maybe we did a fungicide study or something like that. We can also draw a box like a rectangle. We can draw a polygon that has a loose, we just hit certain points and tap it and draw something on the screen. We can also have another really neat feature here is called follow. We can tap it. I could walk around here in this plot. I could walk around here in this field and maybe circle an area that I thought was really bad, far as maybe it had some bugs, or maybe the disease pressure was bad and I thought it was different. I wanted to circle this area to come back to it later, and then it would follow you and create a polygon based upon your steps that you took. Anyway, today we're just going to drop a pin and hit next. Now it says we're in corn, crop type. It knows this because we planted it this way. Now if we had soybeans planted here and that was labeled in our yield monitor or planting monitor, we would also notice that it should select soybeans by default. It's going to use, at the end of the day, it is going to use whatever's selected in FARMserver previously. You can come in here and you can hit notes. You can type a note like testing, or rather checking corn after rain, for example. And that would be my note. That's what this Scout is all about, let's say. We could choose some photos here, hit the plus sign, hit take photo, and we can select a picture, use this photo. You can see it's now selected as one of the things that we can see here in this field. We can back out of there. We're going to growth stage it. I think we're somewhere right around R3 milk. And let's just say our stand count here is 30,000. And Right now we see some weeds. I see a few weeds here, and I can come in here. I see some milkweed in here that we struggle with. We're just going to say some milkweed is in here. Insects. Do we have any insects? We can look around and see if there is. And I'm not seeing any right now, so I'll leave that blank. Disease. Checking to see if there's any disease pressure in here. I know earlier when I was in here, I seen some gray leaf spots. We can select diseases and select GLS for gray leaf spot. And after that, we can back out of that. Herbicide damage, no. Yield estimator. Let's say we come in here, we pulled some plants. We said it was 30 plants per 17 and 5 inches. And let's say ear number 1 was 16 around by 25 long. We had another one that, let's say, was 18 around. Oops, got numbers in the wrong box. Ear number 2, say it was 14 around by 32. And we had a 16 around by 26. And it gives us an estimated bushels at the bottom, yield estimate, 159 bushel. We can get done with our yield estimator. We hit done. At the end of the day, you can come in here and select this and basically do a snapshot in the field in the spot you were standing. And later you can come in and tap that and say, well, how close was this yield estimator? There's another feature for earlier in the year. We won't get into it. It's called Replant Calculator. And it's a very neat tool for estimating yield goal after you replanted, or yield possible yield after replant versus before. And it compares and tells you whether there's a positive return on that. So this is a video we're doing here on corn. I would like to jump over and do one on the soybeans because there's another neat feature in that scouting tool as well. Jump out of here. And we're going to go into, I'm trying to see how to do it because I don't have soybeans here, but I think I can. Just use a soybean field, but we're going to drop the pin manually. It's going to make us drop it in the field boundary. We're just going to hit next. And at the bottom here, you see it says leaf health analysis. And we can come in here and use this app to take pictures of the leaves and here it tells us the automatic, it's analyzing the image. It says your leaf is 94% green, 1% possibly green. Here's one that I'm going to take a picture of a leaf that has some damage. Now we're going to use this photo and we're going to see what it does. We're going to do the automatic. It's saying 66% green, 33% possibly green. So basically, we're looking at a defoliation just in that image of 30-some% is what it's trying to tell us. Anyway, this is something I wanted to go over as far as a scouting feature for you guys, especially if you're out checking yields in your cornfields this time of year, or you're out in your soybeans trying to decide, here pretty soon it'll be time to spray. It'll be R3. And there's a lot of these features here in this app that can be very, very helpful to scouting your fields and making decisions. If you need any help with this, feel free to holler at any time. I'm always here to assist you, walk a field for you, and also help you figure out the app if you're out there yourself.